For my project, I decided to do special use airspace. What is special use airspace? Special use airspace is an area designed for operations of a nature such that limitations may be imposed on the aircraft not participating in those operations, often used by the military. Some types of special use airspace is prohibited, restricted, national security area, which is also NSA, military operating areas, MOAs, and alert areas and warning areas. The first one is the prohibited airspace. Now, prohibited airspace depiction here on the sectional chart will look like this. It'll say prohibited, it'll be in blue, and it'll also be solid blue with the hash marks dictating where it's at inside the circle. So it's inside the circle, and it'll usually have a P right here. So facts about that is the area within which the flight is prohibited, areas established for security reasons, and if you do break this airspace, it does cause for a possible interception and also legal action. The next one we got is the restricted airspace. Restricted airspace on the sectional charts will look like this. It'll say restricted with an R, and same thing, it'll be a solid blue with hash marks depicting where it is on the sectional map chart inside the circle. And the facts is that airspace for this flight of an aircraft is not wholly prohibited, but is subject to restrictions. It also contains hazards such as missile, artillery firing, and aerial gunnery, and you must obtain clearance with the controlling ATC before entering this airspace. So you are allowed to fly prohibited airspace, it's just you need to contact the controlling agency before you enter that airspace. The next airspace is the national security area. Now, for most of us, we don't really see too many of these on the sectional charts, but they do have them, they are out there. Here on the sectional chart, they'll have the DAS magenta lines, as you can see in here. And this is requirement for increased security for ground objects, mostly for like nuclear power plants or something that they want to protect on the ground. Special instructions can be found written on the sectional charts. So just like for here, they might have something written there that you can read for special instructions. And then pilots are requested to avoid flying through them. And so it's not mandatory. You do not, you can still fly through them, but it's highly required to stay away from them. And also the NSAS can be prohibited by an issue of a NOTAM. So a NOTAM can say that you are prohibited to fly through those airspace. So just watch out for NOTAMs because you never know when they're going to pop up. The next one we have is the military operating areas, MOAs. We see these a lot on the sectional charts. I'm pretty sure everyone's aware of MOAs. Here on the sectional chart, it will be a magenta line with the hash marks depicting where it is on the sectional chart. And the facts is activities contain air combat tactics, can be training for low altitude tactics and aerobatics. These areas do not require permission to fly through, but pilots are required to participate in talking to ATC. So you do not need to have permission to fly through MOAs, but it's a smart idea maybe to get flight following just because there could be aircraft in there doing aerobatics or just flying every which way direction and every altitude. So use extreme caution when flying through MOAs, as both pilots, military pilots, and civilians are responsible for aircraft separation. The next one we have alert areas. Here at alert areas, same thing, solid magenta with the hash marks. Alert areas may contain high volume of traffic, parachute jumping, or glider towing. They do not need ATC permission to enter, and be extra vigilant when flying through these. These contained a lot of student pilots practicing all their private pilot maneuvers. So you got people doing steep turns, stalls, and going to every which way direction at every altitude. So most of the alert areas will have a frequency you can call and to monitor, and also you can do your pilot reports where you're at, so that way you can get a good idea of where all the traffic is. Again, there cannot be a lot of students in here, so if you want to, just avoid them entirely. If you don't want to fly through them, if you don't want to pick your way through that. And the last one is the warning areas. Warning areas, you see these mostly off of the coast of the United States. These are on the coastlines and the oceans. Here they dictate there'll be a solid blue line with hash marks inside and may be dangerous to non-participating aircraft. Also, the area is located over domestic or international waters. Contacting ATC before entering is not mandatory, but it's a good idea and it's a good practice. They can be doing, naval vessels, practice, boarding and unboarding, the shoring. So it's always a good idea to see what's going on inside boarding areas before flying through them. The conclusion is to always pay attention to your sectional charts. Know what type of airspace you'll be flying through over on your routes to your airport. And if anything, contact ATC if you have any doubts of what airspace you're flying through. It's always better to be safe than sorry. So, thank you.